We're talking about all things pertaining to the city of Marion. I'm your host, Angela Stepp, and with me here is Mayor Morrell himself. And we are going to be covering things from citywide cleanups to progress updates, powerful progress updates, I might add, Mayor, to all kinds of neighborhood events. And this is really where the momentum of the city of Marion comes to life. So sit back, stay with us, and we are going to jump right into the heartbeat of the city of Marion, because in Marion, it matters. With Mayor Morrell.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Talk about an eventful past couple of months.
Yeah.
This whole front end of the year of 2025, you have just packed it with all kinds of news, investment into the community in terms of economic development. We haven't seen this kind of boom for a while now. But we should start with the citywide cleanup.
Yeah, so that's I like to call that the cornerstone of our administration is focusing on cleaning our city up, and I like to attribute that a lot of these investments have been attracted because we're focusing so heavily on cleaning things up. So we have we're in our citywide cleanup season. So we have them coming up in June all the way, I believe, until September. Yes, once a month on a Saturday, and this is one of the most engaging things because it's a chance for all of our citizens who are interested and want to participate to interact with all of our city departments. Everyone is working really hard together to fill up dumpsters. Another cool fact is the first two we've had, we filled up 16 40-yard dumpsters.
Those are the big dumpsters.
Yes,
the
each
extra
time.
long.
Yeah, extra long each time. So 32 total.
Wow.
Of those 40-yard dumpsters. That's a lot of trash.
That is.
And we're going to continue to keep doing that for the rest of the remaining days. So we're working very hard, and our team is working very hard, and it's one of the things that I'm most proud of.
You know, I'm just trying to process in my head. Like you said, that is a lot of trash. But
yes.
Really, when you think about the impact that's making, that's just from the first two cleanup dates.
Yeah, just from the first two.
The items that folks are discarding, they're those unwanted items that they've been meaning to find a way to get rid of. It's not like your weekly, trash pickup kind of situation. These are things that make an impact in the community.
100%. So some of the time, some of the couches and mattresses you might see on the side of the roads before, if you drive around our city now, you'll be hard pressed to be able to find those because we're providing these days where people can take those large items like that and be able to throw them away. So
we have up on the screen right now a list of the dates and locations. This next one that's going to be coming up here in June, it's going to be on Saturday, June 21st. And I understand there's going to be free Starbucks coffee for folks that attend.
Every week,
and pizza.
Every time. Yes, we have every single time. Starbucks is partnering with us. Our local branch of Starbucks is partnering with us to give away free coffee to all the volunteers and all the workers. And a different business usually sponsors the pizza each time. So people are buying into this, and we're so thankful.
So it's come have some hard work, but we're going to get you some caffeine to get you some energy. We're going to feed you some pizza to keep you strong and going at it. And details are on the city website. So folks, if you want to find out more about the citywide cleanup date, just go to the City of Marion's website. You can do a quick online search and it'll take you straight to the .gov website, and you'll find all of the information that you need about the cleanup there. Also, we should mention something fun that went up in front of the municipal building. It's a new gauge, if you will, the blightometer.
Yes, the blightometer. So the origin of this, I was hearing people tell history stories about Marion, and at one point in time, in Marion High School, the Giants were so good at basketball, they had a dunkometer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay, so and they said there so many dunks would happen if somebody would flip the sign over it and they would count how many dunks happened. So I said it would be really cool to bring that kind of idea back and track how many houses and structures we've torn down to clean up our city. So if you drive past City Hall on like you're headed out of town, you'll see what's now called the blightometer, and we actually measure the amount of houses being torn down by filling up with daisies, which is now our city flower. So so just check it out sometime. So that's the origin story of that and how that came about.
Thank you. I thought it was such a novel idea, and it's fun, and it gives everybody a sense of progress. and to be able to see the work being done, because you in your first year of your administration were able to accomplish a lot of blight removal, and you kept that going even through the winter months.
Yes, our team, Commissioner Foss Knight is really leading that charge, and he works very hard in getting those things. Because the process to get a house torn down is not just simple as we drive down the street and say we want to get that house torn down. This is normally a 3 to 4 month process. We're going to get that done, all kinds of paperwork and court dates and everything to be able to pull this off. So our team works very hard and very diligently in ensuring things are done and are done correctly, and showing, I'm so proud of them to be able to push this vision forward and clean up our city.
Yeah, you have a wonderful team,
Yes.
and it shows. The city is very, very fortunate to have so many wonderful, like-minded people that are forming such a powerful team to come together and really put the best of our community's interest at the forefront of everything that is done. And I love the fact that you have very much grasped onto the communication aspect of making sure that folks know what's going on within your administration. And one of the things that you did last year that was such a positive experience for everyone were the traveling town halls.
Yes.
You're going to be bringing those back this year in the fall. And what for folks that are not familiar with the traveling town halls, can you give us a little overview of what they are?
Yeah, so this is a chance for any citizen of Marion to come out and share their praise, concern, ask any question they have for myself and the administration. So what we do is we usually find different churches to host them at, and you come in, you write however many questions, whether it's 1 or it's 25, on a index card, and you submit those in, and I actually go through them and answer them all. And what's even better is all of my department heads, all of my team is there at the same time. So any question you have about anything functioning in the city, someone is there in person right on the spot to be able to answer those questions for you. And I felt like that was a really key component to be able to get out in front of the people and explain what's going on and answer some of the questions and concerns, and being able to show that, we're not just people sitting in some building behind the desk. We're real people. We're here to work for you. We're here to serve you. So that was the intent behind that.
So I think that intent was well received, and there was a lot of positive, fruitful progress that came out of last fall's events. This year, you've got 3 months planned, October, November, and December. You have dates and locations. Again, all of that is on your screen as we're talking right now, and you can find that on the cities.gov website as well. And I would love to know if you could give us a little sneak peek behind what you're hoping to accomplish out of it. Because I know you go into this with a vision, and there's always a little bit of an agenda behind, because you're trying to figure out how you can move that progress forward. For this year, do you have any specific goal that you're able to share with us?
So I think that right now there's so much development going on, and we say we want change, and sometimes when it starts happening, people get a little bit uncomfortable. So what I want these traveling town halls is to be a reassurance of, hey, we have a lot of change. We're doing a record amount of paving. Things are getting built. Things are getting torn up every corner of the city, and we want to make sure that we're clearly communicating that this is not just like random acts of demolition or random acts of projects. That this has a vision and a plan aligned with that's going to ultimately best serve our city. So
a little bit later in today's program, we're going to be talking about the State of the City address that you just shared recently. And so I'm just going to let everybody know we're going to be putting that a little bit later in today's program. So you'll want to stay with us so that you can hear about that. But we're going to talk about some pretty exciting things that have been happening within the city and get you up to date. So it's everything that you're going to need to know about the state of the city right now. So speaking of progress, and let's shift over now to the Parks Department. And I know you've had a big emphasis on developing and revitalizing Marion's Park. We have a very large park system here in Marion. And one of those parks is Friendship Corner. It's at the Mater Park location. And Friendship Corner was closed down. It was something that was in need of a little bit of refresh. And some work's been done. And I understand they did some power washing just recently, and you're going to be doing a new groundbreaking reopening of the age 0 to 5 playground there in Mater Park as well.
So a lot of so first let me address the parks. We have 13 parks and over 160 acres. So this is a lot, and Model Park takes up 99 of those. So we have a massive, for our side of the city, a massive park system, and a lot of these things have kind of just sat, dormant for almost 30 years now. So we wanted to come in and do as much investment in parks as possible. And the reason why, I'll explain this too, now I'll get into the more specific projects, but the reason why is because quality of life is one of the main attractors now in economic development. I think in history's past, it used to be like, if you could get a factory to come or jobs to come, then people would come here because of that. But now with today's society and where people have flexibility, they're choosing where they want to live and then finding a job, or even sometimes driving to wherever the job is. So what we're trying to do is really focus in on the quality of life investments for the city of Marion, and Parks Department obviously falls into one of that, into that category. So Friendship Corner it's one of our main ADA accessible locations for our park system. I can't remember the exact date, but it's been over 10 years for sure since it was done. And so now we're going out there and power washing up all the equipment, getting it nice and freshened up again. And we're going to I just found out today we're actually going to redo all the surfacing. So if you've been out there before, it's just kind of soft and spongy. Mm-hmm. So that's going to get redone. So we had gotten paid to get redone, I think in 2022 or 23, and the company wasn't satisfied with the work they did. So we're actually going to come back and do it again and fill in some additional spaces there. And then when you first pull in the Model Park, the main entrance, I'll call it a Highland, is the 0 to 5-year-old park. Now that equipment has been there for 33 years. And so it's outlived the life that it's supposed to. Yes. So last year, we hired a grant writer, and they partnered with our Parks Department team, and we were able to receive a matching grant for $75,000. And so the city had to match that as well. So now we've been able to get $150,000 park remodel for that area. And that groundbreaking is going to be on June 12th.
June 12th, which is tomorrow.
Yes.
Can you believe how fast time flies?
It's going so fast, yes. Yeah.
I remember a number of months back when we were able to hear on Marion Matters program that we were able to share the great news of the matching grant. Mm-hmm. So now it is delightful to be able to come back onto the show and to be able to say, okay, check that box. Mission accomplished on that one.
Yep, we got it done.
You've got a lot of boxes checked.
It's great because, again, I always want to reiterate this team. They buy into the vision and they work so hard. Even our city council has bought into helping us being able to improve our city on every front. And I'm just so thankful to be a part of this journey with everyone.
So let me segue over then to, we're going to keep kind of focused here, and there's so many different directions that we can go with this conversation, so I'm trying to think of how to do it well. So there is a big project that's going to be happening in the downtown area, and First Street has now been vacated.
Yes.
Can you share with us why?
Yeah, so First Street between Branson and I believe Adams no longer exists, and the reason for that is because the River Rocks Loft will be there.
Yes.
So if you drive down there now,
yes,
a new apartment complex. So this is 45 apartments with 3,000 square foot of retail space, and I think they should be coming out with some announcements here in the next month or so what that's going to be in that retail space. So that'd be really great. But yeah, so that project has started. So if you drive through that area, you'll see it's all torn up, and it's been. I get excited about the entire process, from this first signing of the paperwork to the first demolition of the ground site readiness to and then the actual completion of the building. I think everything is along that way is so we can appreciate each step of that. So I think that people coming by there now will be able to see piles and mounds of asphalt and concrete, and then come back in a year later and see a beautiful building. So I think I encourage everyone to go by and check out so they can see and enjoy the process.
To be able to go and have that visual right now with just fresh groundbreaking, everything is in its current state. Everybody's got their digital device. They can snap a picture. How fun would it be to go and just snap a picture every so often and just see that progress?
Yes, keep track of it.
This is where that momentum comes to life. We were just talking about that at the front end of the program. And so here's another perfect example of that box getting checked. You've got progress going.
Yeah.
Let's talk about we're going to continue the quality of life aspect of things. And there was a recent ceremony with the Marion Fire Department. It was a push-in ceremony for Fire Engine 6.
Yes, and this was really cool. So I think this is the first time they've done it in a long time, but it's tradition, and I don't want to quote history wrong, but it's like long fire tradition. I think they used to have to push in when they used like horses and buggies before whatever, and they had to push it in at the end of the shift or whatever. So I think that now they just push the truck in, trucks in reverse, right? But it's ceremonial. They push it in. No, it's a really cool ceremony. It's a really cool thing honoring the past and showing, how long tradition of firefighting is everywhere, and specifically in our city.
It's important as you're building out that infrastructure and the families are coming in and people are investing in the community to know that your fire department is there and able to support all of that growth. And to be able to have this new fire engine, that's very significant. And it has all the latest technology on it.
Yes, everything we need. And I'll give you one, wasn't on our agenda, but because you're mentioning that, the importance of protecting investment and protecting people, we're spending a lot of money and also being invested into our downtown corridor in the Riverfront District. And one of the things that we're missing in that area that's been closed for a while was the Fire Station 1.
Yeah.
So we are super happy to report we've made it through that process now, and the council should be voting on that here in the next week, and that should break ground in July for that new fire station. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yep.
So a lot of celebrations going to happen
when
a lot
that
of stuff
is completed.
Happening. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
If I could for just a moment pause and talk about something that the Convention Visitors Bureau, they are looking for a new board of director member.
Yeah.
And that is a very important role. For folks that are interested in that, I know that there's still a little bit of time that if you want to find out more about that, you can go onto the city's website. They've got all the information there. And I do understand that whoever would apply for that position needs to live within the city limits.
Yeah, so the Convention Visitors Bureau is a countywide organization, but the city of Marion has appointments, and this specific appointment is through the city council. So what they would need to do is get on our website and send their resume or whatever they want to send in to our council president, and then the council will actually vote on that person live. So you have to come up and say, I want to explain yourself why you want to join the council votes, like yes or no, right? In person, yeah. So,
yes. Yeah. And it's a very powerful, looking at all of the development that's happening, all of the investment happening within our community. We need some folks out there that are able to really help communicate to the rest of the world what's happening here in Marion.
We have so much, especially when you think about this from a county, we have so much visiting and travel into our city. You have obviously the big James Dean's Festival in Fairmount and Gas City. You have 1812. You have Indiana Weston and Taylor bringing all of this stuff in from their sports and stuff like that. And that's
flying cruises.
Yeah. So that's just the first I can think on top of my head. There's a lot of things that attract a lot. Oh, and the new car races that happen out there at the airport as well. But those are just 5 or 6 events that bring thousands of people and millions of dollars of investment into our city, or economic impact into our city. So we want to make sure that we're capitalizing on that and sharing with the world really about all the great things happening within our city and within our county.
Speaking of other great things, I'm going to transition back to another program that the city has, and it's the Home Repair Assistance Program. There were 18 recipients of assistance in this past year, and would you please take a moment just to share with us about that program?
This was a vision of myself and Commissioner Frost Knight when we were dealing with blight elimination, right? So blight elimination can be rather aggressive sometimes because you're in some situations you're telling people, hey, you own this and we're going to come tear it down.
Yeah.
So it can get, it's not always the nicest experience, but we wanted to make sure that we were still doing what needed to be done on that front, but then also extending olive branches to people who really desire to get some things done, but they just were short on cash. So what we've done is created a fund to where it's for 65 and older and or veteran and or disabled, where you can apply for and get up to $5,000 to remodel anywhere in the exterior of your home. So this took off to be a great program. We helped over 18 families, and it was worked out so well. We're going to bring it back into the budget for this next season, next year, and do it again.
So we have some pictures of folks that a few of the recipients there with the checks in hand, and there's some big smiles, and So we also want to say a big thank you to Media Outfitters LLC for helping to provide those images so that you can enjoy them today here on the program. But you know what, Mayor? We need to take a really quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about the State of the City address that you just shared just recently, and there's some great news in that. So, folks, we want to invite you to stay with us, and we'll be right back with some more Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. Protected the weak and defeated the strong. Shown courage and compassion. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
Baby, tell me, where'd you ever learn to fight without saying no word? Then waltz back into my life like it's all gonna be alright. Don't you know how much it hurts when we don't talk, when we don't touch, when it doesn't feel like we're even in love? It matters to me when I don't know what to say, don't know what to do, don't know if it really even matters to you. How can I make you see it matters to me?
Welcome back to Marion Matters. Thanks so much for joining us. I have Mayor Morrell with me here in studio, and again, we are talking about all things pertaining to the city of Marion. And right before the break, we were about to talk about the State of the City address. Mayor, you just gave that just recently, and there was a lot to talk about. We've been sharing, there's momentum and there's progress being made, but when you see it all condensed in one list of things, it's impressive.
Oh, no, thank you. Again, I put a challenge out to our people early on, and they responded, and it's been such an amazing roller coaster ride with everyone.
Yeah. So $10 million invested in infrastructure in the city.
And I think that's, so there's a whole bunch of things that's important for that. One, obviously, we need it. We need to get that done. The other thing that I think is really important is that half of that has been through grants. So the city have actually, we don't have to spend $5 million of our own money. The other half is coming through grants, whether it's from the state community crossing grant or from Next Level Trails. So the investment in our infrastructure is one of the key things to seeing our growth as well. So obviously well, maybe it's not obvious, because I learned that as I've started, the biggest asset that the city owns are our streets. So there's nothing that we own that costs more or takes up more space than our streets. So for us to be able to take care of our number one asset is really important. And when people come into our city physically, for the first time or however many times, that's the first thing they always experience is the quality of our streets. So we want to make sure we do as much as we can to take care of that and get as many streets done as possible. Second, our sidewalks. So we start investing into helping out with that as well. And lastly, our trails. So we have the Cardinal Greenway, which runs through the city and really almost the whole state at this point. And it's been a great asset. We had our river walk that runs along our river for about 2 miles or so for the last 35 years. So now what we've came in and added an additional thing called the City Connect Trail. And what this does is connect the Cardinal Greenway to our Riverwalk Trail. And then that is going to then expand to an additional location to take another Cardinal Greenway entry exit point and connected into the city trail, which ultimately funnels back into the Riverwalk. So ideally, once this is complete, you'll be able to start on our Riverwalk trail and make it almost across the whole state of Indiana. Yes, so yeah, it's very connected in, and we're really excited about that.
That's taking walkability to a whole new level, because that's something that I know a lot of cities have put a big. How walkable is your city?
Right.
Well, I think Marion can claim it's pretty
we're working
walkable.
on it. Yes, we're working on it. Yes, that's a big business for us on infrastructure.
It is. Also, because this is state of the city, general fund cash reserves.
Yes.
54%.
Yes, I thought that was very important to share too, because when you see a lot of projects happening like this, you'll hear the criticism. People say, "Oh, the mayor is blowing through all the money."
Yeah, because they don't know where the funding sources are.
Right. Yeah. So I think that it's very important to share that we've been able to get these projects done while remaining holding on to one of the highest cash balances that the city has had in decades.
Yes.
That's very important. And second, I think it's important to share that us hiring that grant writer has put us in a position to be able to secure funds that the city has never had before, because we've never had a grant writer before.
Yeah.
So I thought that was important to share and let people know that we're getting things done. We're also, most importantly, getting them done responsibly.
Yes. And in terms of financial gain here in our community, another $65 million in new business and business expansion.
Yes. So, and all of them are great. So we've had people go from start brand new businesses that invested $50,000 to people expanding their 600 employee business to investing in an additional $21 million. So this wide gamut of investment to the city of Marion in the business sector is amazing for us. And we as a city want to support everyone, whether you're investing your first $500 or you're ready to $50 million. And one thing that I like to highlight on the top end of that is, Cafe Valley. They invested an additional $21 million in towards the end of 2024 in making us what I like to call now the Girl Scout Cupcake Capital. So
yes.
the Girl Scouts of America are going to start selling cupcakes in addition to cookies, and those cupcakes are going to be produced in Marion, Indiana. And so I'm very proud of that, and I know our team and their team worked really hard to pull it off. And it's good to see businesses expand and double down in our city and make Marion their choice.
Along with all of that expansion comes new employment opportunities, and I understand I've heard a number well over 200 of new jobs have been created.
Yes, I mean, so that's one of the most beautiful things we get to do is help people succeed, which also helps more people succeed. So we help businesses grow or start up, and then that puts our citizens in a place to be able to get those jobs and be able to further their life and further their career. So we want to do everything we can now. It's not, as a mayor, I don't get to control what businesses come, what ones don't. But what we want to do is make the environment as friendly as possible to be able to attract more business to the city.
Perfect example of that is the Riverfront District.
Yes.
And since we're celebrating investment, $57 million in private investment.
Yes.
For that Riverfront District alone.
So as a city government, we had to go through the steps to set up the Riverfront District, but I can't make anybody come. But because we went around those steps and made the environment and a culture of trying to be open for business and attract businesses, that made us attract that $57 million in 1 year.
Wow. And that's on top of what we were just talking about.
Yes.
So again, wow. Yes. And with all the new incoming and everything, here's another statistic: crime rate.
Yes.
Lowest that it's been in the last
5 years? 5 years, yes. So I want to give kudos to our Chief of Police, Dave Gilbert, and our all of our police department. They're doing a great job at this. And then one thing I had them do early on is, after the 2024 completed, I had them pull the data for the last 6 years prior to that. And because I didn't want to just do like one-off comparison. So our 2024 crime rate is lower in all the categories than what it had been in the last 5 years. So we're hoping to continue to keep improving on that every single year. And unfortunately, the crime is never going to go away. But we want to do everything we can to keep as much of it out of Marion as possible.
So important, and really the investment into our local law enforcement has proven to be very fruitful. Yes. There's a lot of new faces that I see out and about on patrol, and it seems like that response time's improved, and so there's a lot of good there. And I can't, I have to mention new investment anticipated, it's over $130 million
Yes.
of new investment in just the past 18 months.
Yes. I mean, I think that one of the phrases that I said when I was pursuing this office, and now since I've been in there, Marion is open for business. Every time I talk to people at a local level, state level, or even national, I kind of reiterate that, hey, we're open. Meaning that we want to be in the market. We're in the conversation for more development to come. And I can't announce it yet, but there's even on top of that, before the end of the year, I should be another $15 or so million that people keep putting in because we've made ourselves available.
Yes.
And because we made ourselves available and said that we're willing to work with developers and business owners, local, statewide, and even national, it's put us in conversations to be able to attract these things.
The progress that's being made is starting to become well noticed.
Well, that's great. Yeah.
And I think that's right there. That's what you need to keep that ball rolling and keep that momentum and keep that progress coming. Yeah. And when they realize that you're serious about making a difference, about investing and growing the community, then other people start to get serious about you, right? And one of the things that you mentioned, largest thing that the city owns is the streets, the city's streets, right? And so, very wisely, I would say, from my personal perspective, you have chosen to really invest in the maintenance and repair of city streets. Yeah. And you just put out the street paving list for 2025. It's huge.
Yes, there's a lot of streets, So, there's double edge to that, right? It gets super inconvenient when you do so many streets, but I think that, again, this being our largest asset as a city, we want to do everything we can to take care of them. So, it's going to be inconvenient for some for a month or and a half or so, but once we're done, you'll be gliding across the city.
Oh, yeah, so, I love it. Gliding across the city. I love it.
So we're excited about it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, Mayor, we're out of time, but boy, we could just keep going all day. There's so much to talk about, and so hopefully we'll be able to continue that again next month. And the momentum is real. The progress is real. Marion is on the rise, and I'm just going to wrap it up by saying you were right. The city of Marion does deserve nice things.
I like it, yes.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And folks, we want to say a great big thank you to you for joining us here today. If you would take a moment, if you're watching us on YouTube, to like and subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us gain a little bit more awareness in the community about what we're putting online. Also, if you're watching us on WSOT TV, we thank you so much for joining us as we've been broadcasting throughout North Central Indiana for the past 41 years. Also, I want to say a great big thank you to one of our big supporters. It's a local business here. It is Basic Systems USA, and we appreciate their generous support to help make this program and help keep the television ministry owned by Sunnycrest Baptist Church on air. So stay tuned for some more quality family programming that you can trust right here on Sunnycrest Outreach Television.